Welcome to No Left Field, the show for busting boundaries and expanding possibilities.
And we have fun doing it.
Do we, though?
Hey, listeners, it's good to be back. We can't wait to catch you up on Ed's cancer journey and Ro's caregiver takeaways, and the ongoing saga of Jason's job search. Plus, cheap trick. It's Season 2 of No Left Field, Episode 1, New Life Frames. Welcome to Season 2 of No Left Field.
Ow! It's been a long time since we ended Season 1.
It's been a really long time. It's been, well, let's see. We recorded Season 1, Episode 1 8 months ago. 9 months ago. August of 2025. It is May 22nd of 2026. And then I guess our last episode that we released would have been something we recorded at the end of September. So 8 months.
Was it?
That was the Navigating Lengthy Feats, I believe. That was the ultramarathon and care partnering episode.
But we released it in January.
Oh, right. Okay.
I know that because I went back and listened to the final thing I was saying, and I just wanted to give her a hug.
Give that version of you a hug?
Me a hug.
Aww.
Navigating Lengthy Feats. Very apropos for that situation.
Mm-hmm.
That lengthy feet, that was the cancer treatment. In September, we would have been pretty kind of in the middle of it. And then your ultramarathon, another lengthy feat, and how those things were similar. And it continues to, I think the cancer journey, and we'll say like we're on a very different part of the journey now. Spoiler alert. No more cancer. But there's so much metaphorizing with it. And I think I only, because I'm in this chapter with a lot of that in the midst of treatmentness behind me, that I can see just how much pain I was in, how challenging it was. Even as, if you go back and listen to podcast 1, you'll hear me reference the partying that was happening here.
Right here.
During
our convalescence
in
weekends.
the treehouse.
And
that was such special times. But as I was thinking about, I think my last words of the 4th episode of Season 1 were something like, "We're making our way."
I think that's right. I think those were the last.
And
words.
Oh my God, like I was depleted. I was self-defeated. I was going through the motions of putting one foot in front of the other. I remember at that particular juncture having this kind of epiphany about how Ed was this tree, like not unlike Julia Butterfly Hill's tree, Luna, that she put herself in to save this tree, and how she had to really have soft limbs and let the sap stick to her feet so that she could be more safe and staying in the tree and navigating it instead of like fighting and battling the wind and trying to be rigid. And that I was really trying to adopt that. So there was a lot of like self-talk that's like, you can do it. And I think I was kind of like, can I? Really? Can I? And as we start Season 2, I went back and listened to our sort of tagline, the show for busting boundaries and expanding possibilities.
Yeah.
And it had this kind of like innocence to it. Like, wow, I really thought, I mean, I think we came up against cancer. Not, the podcast was not born of that journey, but there was a kind of, I don't know, there's a kind of like loss of innocence. Like, yes, even though the intention for the pod is this idea of inspiring each other, inspiring our listeners to get out of their comfort zones, to open their minds to other possibilities, to embrace difference, diversity, radical inclusion of life. But when those circumstances are presented to you and it's job loss and cancer, it's not so thrilling.
It's not very expansive.
It's
it's
very expansive. It is
very expansive. Okay, say more about that.
I think the growth. It's an incredible catalyst for growth. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I'm talking about the subjectively.
Subjectively, you want to get very tight
exactly.
and narrow and say, fuck you, get out.
Totally.
Fuck you, go away.
Right.
Adversity,
right.
Diversity of experience, difference. I liked it the way it was. And that's what I was saying at the end of that episode was like, I really liked us and I missed us. And in that moment, I was like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, this is not more beautiful than I could ever imagine. And I just don't know if I have it. So I was thinking, here we are. I'm in a completely different chapter of the cancer journey, which is to say, like, that if that was September, this is now May. I'd had this radical surgery in January, the mother of all surgeries, the 10-hour operation. Jason, you were there. I was very unclear about what was going to happen, on the other side of that. And what happened is Ed went into ICU and continued to sort of like surprise everyone with how well he was doing, even as it was like up and down for the full, 8 to 10 weeks that they said it would take. Like, that was not linear in any sort of sense of healing progression, but Ed has healed so much. And so much so that, like, he has his normal amount of hyper energy.
And he's traveling for work.
He's going to conferences.
And the day he gets back from conferences, he's going out for a late evening with his buddies to play Frisbee golf in Glen Park.
Woo, woo.
Right? And then we think he's going to be out tonight.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be tired after yoga. And he calls me and says, can I come over? And I'm like, Sha, come over, please. Because he's feeling all bubbly. So he's back.
Cheers.
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 Yeah.
And the hug, okay, to go back to like, I want to give myself a hug. It's because in that moment, you could have said, Rowena, be not afraid. And you did, and everybody did. Be not afraid. This is like, I had so much support. I don't want to diminish like how much help we had. It wasn't like the burden was on me. Not at all. But I was so afraid. And I think moving through things can be so scary. And I guess, like, I'm not scared right now because the cancer has been dealt with for the moment. But I will be scared again. And so I guess I'm really interested in unpacking some of the learning so that I feel more equipped as much as I can be. I want to name some of the learning that happened and in this particular episode, like a little update of where we both are. So I've been talking about my experience, but like we talked a bit about your experience in the previous season and where are you entering into season 2 with your expansion, your boundaries?
Today's May 22nd, 2026. It's 1 year to the day since I returned from my global adventures with that gap year program that left me a shell of myself.
Wow.
Yeah. 1 year to the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a year.
What a year. Oh my God. Woo. So where we were in August when we recorded season 1, episode 1, I was a zero revenue generating, accomplished professional who's had a lot of advantages and was feeling pretty cruddy about and very, very stressed about the situation that we were in, that I was in professionally, doubting myself, just really not feeling great. And at the same time, also just feeling all of the abundance around the cancer, this weird experience that we were having, right? Of like this incredible set of blessings of our together time and the heightening of the moment, with the possibility of this going a different direction looming over us, really was heightening our sense of, I think, appreciation for every moment that we had together. And that was so beautiful and wonderful.
My God, imagine if you hadn't been in the country or in the home for that. That is something I don't want to think about, because you were like such a key part of our care team. So thank you for the zero revenue
generating. And I also think we hit on that in that episode too, right? Was and thank God, right? That that I was at least here and not some other part of the world. And so here now, it's 9 months since then. I still do not have full-time work. Thankfully, I'm no longer zero revenue generating.
Yay.
Yay. It's not that much more than zero, but it's more than zero, which is nice. It's not just the little bit of money that's coming in. It's also feeling engaged. The work that we're doing now is, when I say we, it's my business partner and I, working with global interns, university students who are doing internships in other countries, and we're helping them to, first of all, adjust to cultural differences in the workplace, and then also to articulate the skills and competencies that they've gained in ways that employers will value. So we get time with students every now and again, which is great. It gives us an opportunity also to develop a line of business, which is one of the only growing areas of business in higher ed these days. Mm-hmm. So there's potential there as well. So that's been really nice. And also, recently I've been feeling pretty beaten down and battered by the job search process, because I am looking for full-time work. So one realization that I've had in these last 9 months is there are some things that I still like about, quote unquote, being my own boss. Mm-hmm. But mostly I just miss being inside of an organization. I miss having an opportunity to lead, to work with people every day in the muck and complication and wonder and sometimes joy of the workplace. I just feel like I think it's precisely because the workplace can be such a threatening place, because it is like where we confront survival in ways that we don't necessarily just in our daily lives, because it's the job that gets us the resources to have shelter and food and all of the basic human necessities. And so, it's also where power can be flexed. It's like there's an org chart and there's bosses, and they have a lot of power over our material conditions, living conditions. So the workplace is stressful by nature. And when we can manage to pull together and like to counter that basic underlying sense of threat and bring out the best in one another and accomplish things together, it's exhilarating. It's absolutely thrilling. And I got that, especially during that year with the gap year program. I got a lot more than that I didn't want, but I did get that. And of course, the students were so incredible.
I want to ask though, because like the student, I just in thinking of like a balm to the 9 months. Yeah. One of the things you've done is stay engaged with the students.
Yes.
Even those particular students.
Those specific students. Yes. Via another podcast.
Yes.
Young Global Leaders. Check it out. Young Global Leaders. So by interviewing them on that pod has been gratifying and wonderful. And it hasn't got much of my attention recently because of so with the job search, just, yes. So sometime around December, I was getting so bored
of my professional story. Like I was pissed off because the writing was so bad. It's like, who is authoring this incredibly boring story?
Okay. Who is authoring?
Who is authoring this really boring? Fire the writer. Like, let's get a new writing team in here. Can we please? Just so you and I and Colette and Ed and Lynn and probably others.
Prayed for the money.
Well, not just the money, right? But the better writing.
Right. The better writing.
The better writing. And that I have received. That prayer has been answered loud and clear. My story of looking for a job has not been boring the last few months.
That's awesome.
Is it though? Because so be careful what you pray for. Okay. Be careful what you pray for, right?
Say more.
Because yes, it's had its exhilarating and its exciting moments, which has been great. But of course, who wants to watch or read or engage with a story where it's all rainbows and roses all the time? You got to have some drama. Some drama. And so there was a really exciting phase of expansion. So first there's this job overseas that was absolutely the perfect fit for me. And the money was great. The problem was I'd have to move a few thousand miles away.
That is a problem.
It's a problem. Figured we'd deal with that, but it's a really exciting city, and there's a lot of excitement around that. That was the first job that popped up. Then there was another job at a university nearby. It was a much smaller job in a different kind of a field than I've been in. It was in career services, which was interesting. And then a job at a U.S. university on the East Coast came up in the Chinese studies field.
Okay.
Which I have a lot of experience in from before. That came up. And then a remote job for a US-based nonprofit organization with a connection to education came up. And then this job in a not too far away satellite campus of a university came up. And suddenly I had 5 jobs that I was interviewing for.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, we're down to 2 now.
Okay. Okay.
We're down to 2.
Okay.
One of which is the East Coast one, which I cannot imagine a universe in which I would actually take that job, but I'm still in the process. And the satellite campus of a nearby university job.
Okay.
The other 3, the nearby university one I didn't really, really want. It would have been a long commute, 4 days a week for not much money and not much responsibility. They picked another candidate, and it's like, oh, owie, because, you want to be the chosen one.
Yeah, of course.
But it also simplified my life because I didn't want to have to say no to it, and I might have. The remote job with the nonprofit ended kind of unceremoniously and very quickly after it looked really promising, and then it just suddenly ended, and spent about a day being sad and upset about that.
Okay.
But the one that really hurt was the first one, the job my heart was pounding for, the perfect job, the exciting job overseas with really good money and super exciting. And it's not just that I didn't get the job. It's that the way that the situation was handled by the employer, I think completely unintentionally, left me feeling like shit, like not. So I've been told no a bunch of times, right? And there's a lot of different ways that hiring processes are designed to bring in a bunch of people, and you choose one.
Yeah. And
everybody else ends up disappointed.
Yeah. That's
okay. That's part of how this goes. There's only so many jobs for which I'm going to be that chosen candidate. And thank God that that's happened for me many times in my life. I can handle the disappointment. I can work through it very quickly if I feel the process has been transparent and fair-minded and all of that. This wasn't that.
Mm-hmm.
This was, and I don't think we need to get into the details of what about the process felt so lousy, but I'm still kind of reeling from it. I mean, it was not really reeling. I'm past reeling. It was 9 days ago that I got the news. But I'm still working through it because I have a lot of anger, which is based on a lot of hurt. And it's occupying enough of my bandwidth for me to know that I've still got some work to do on this one. There's some things I still need to learn from this particular turn of events.
Say more. Learn about how to recover from this, learn about what to expect. Because I guess I don't think we need to get into the weeds about the process, but I do think it's interesting. Like, it left you feeling less seen,
Mm-hmm.
lesser than you in your entirety, right?
So I think at baseline, it shouldn't have that kind of power over me.
Okay.
It's natural that it would, right?
Yes.
So this is not to invalidate any of the feelings that I've had about it, because I think they're very human feelings and normal and natural.
Yes.
It's the hold that this thing has on me. What I don't want to let it define me. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of that. And that's thanks to you and Colette and Ed and Joel and Helen and my mom and dad and other friends who have just been lifting me up and lifting me up and lifting me up and just so empathetic and sweet, understanding why it hurts so much. And reminding me this doesn't define me. And that there is a greater purpose here that I can't understand. And this is, I think is where I want to go next with this is, like, I don't know, like, I've put a lot of stock into this, the one job left of the 5 that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
What if I don't get it?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the probabilities are, right? But there's probably better than a coin flip that I'm not going to get that job.
Okay.
Right. So then what?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'll tell you then what.
Okay.
I keep going. I keep working my business. I keep applying for jobs.
Yeah.
I keep doing the things.
Yeah.
Just like if we go back to the season 1, episode 4, navigating lengthy feet, left foot, right foot. Exactly. Just comply. Like that. What there is to do is like, and there's some interesting possibilities now in my business. I may end up just running this business after all. I don't know, but it's okay for me to not know. It's like, I want answers now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The financial uncertainty. I mean, we've been really lucky. If you had told me a year ago that I was soon going to not have a job, and that a year from now we would still not have had a financial disaster, I would have said, okay, that's pretty good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, but it is, we're at a net negative cash flow month to month. That's by definition not sustainable.
Yeah.
Or only sustainable for a certain period of time. So I got to be okay with that too.
Yeah.
And just keep doing all the things and trust, because this is the thing, Ro. It's like, if we look at the professional setbacks in my past, there have been many.
Okay.
What I'm going through now is not even close to the worst.
Yeah.
The worst was Pennsylvania, losing my job in the middle of the economic crisis.
Yeah.
I was younger. I was less confident. I had fewer experiences. I didn't have I had fewer emotional resources for dealing with all of the hurt and self-doubt that came along with it. So many, our financial situation was worse. I mean, like, way more vulnerable. This isn't that.
Yay.
I went through that, and I learned a ton about my own resilience and persistence and love that other people have for me, and the mystery of it all. And what that led to next for me was the most amazing thing. The most amazing thing. And there's so many times I've looked back on that time and been grateful.
Yeah, okay.
Right. And so
we're getting to that.
Right, exactly. So I just, who am I to say that I know what's best for me? Like right now, I really want that job. There's so much that's incredible about the job. There's so much that's incredible about that job, and I want it so badly.
Okay.
Thank you. Very well may not get it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, by the time this episode is released, I may already know that I don't have it.
We'll have to come back,
We'll have to-
listener.
That's right. The cliffhanger. But yes, but that's that. I think that's ultimately where what I keep trying to lean back into is faith.
I think a lot of listeners can identify with this. First of all,
I hope
thinking
so.
of like
I
the
hope
many starts, jobs running out, jobs changing, layoffs, or like taking a leap of faith, like Ed has to work for himself and having to cobble together a lot of work and having there be some real thin times, two self-employed people in our household. So again, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
I loved where you were going with gratitude, because I think it's so like that's the slipperiness for me too. That our cancer convalescence weekends were a highlight. And even coming over today, we haven't been over nearly as often.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember with like pleasure waking up in the morning, knowing that Ed and I both have care, having these leisurely long, the clock with no hands kinds of days. And time, in that moment, like, I think, yes, we had the clock with no hands. Yes, I was loving that. And I wanted to be sort of like shuttled out. And I think I referred to it as hyperspace so that I could
That's right.
just be like, be far enough away from this that by the time I got back, so many things were changed. Right. But like if we don't go through them, if we don't have the experiences, if I really had been like suspended in time while all y'all dealt with the cancer journey, I wouldn't be grateful. Like I wouldn't have those fucking experiences, which have made me a better person. And this is like, how much of it is on me to not wish away, not, because, this is May. I think in June, Ed has his first CT scan, which will be coming like once or twice a year, because this is a cancer that really likes to come back.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that.
Yes.
And so is this like a short-lived cancer-free time? What if it is? Just like, what if you don't get that job? What if we're, having to make a decision whether to do this all over again? Because that's kind of what the choice is, like more chemo, another surgery, more chemo, another surgery, like, and on and on. And I think in a way, when you're in the crappies, it's like, I don't know. Is it like easier to just stay there at rock bottom?
Mm.
Because if you climb back up, like the possibility of rock bottom is below, is there lurking. And I think like, I think I haven't really made peace with the journeying of it in a way. Like I like how we have, ascended out of that, the muck, as you say. And this is where I really want to understand, like, what are the tools? I learned so much about like how to navigate a cancer journey in community is the bottom line, in community, not alone. And Ed, was so very, open and, transparent about what he was going through in to the broader public, not just our intimate circle. And so we got all kinds of support, and I believe that we would get that again. Of course, people would continue to feel for us, but I guess I continue to feel I don't know. Like I'm still trying to understand time in a way that doesn't bug me out. Like I was writing, time is so fucking predictable. We're only going forward. I mean, if you choose to wake up tomorrow, time will pass, the sun will rise and fall, and you will be faced with the opportunity to like get on with your life. That's it. It's linear. It's very predictable. And there can be these incredible, like right now, you're in this holding pattern of wondering about this thing, and it feels like time really, really slows down. And I feel like that too, a little bit like I'm trying really hard to make the most of the time that I have right now. It's healthy. And oh my God, we got to do all these things. We just got back from Europe and we did this. And it's like, I think he's also feeling like I'm going to die. Of course, we're all going to die. But like, there's that sort of urgency to it. And what I learned is, thank you for letting me puzzle this out, but I feel like I'm learning that like I need to be present. There he is.
Yes, he's at the door now. We will greet him later.
Okay. Should we wait for the barking to? No, we don't need to worry.
No, because our listeners won't even hear the dog barking because of the magic technology that exists to filter out all that noise.
Right. Okay, cool.
So you're puzzling. Go back to puzzling out. What are you puzzling out?
I'm puzzling out that this isn't helpful. This thing that I'm doing right now, this tripping on like how I need to be right helpful? Now. It's not helpful. It's not helpful to not just be present, to not just be in this moment, in this day, but to be anticipatory grief, I think is an expression, anticipating how great it has to be right now leads to letdown, anticipating how fucked up it's going to be if we get the CT scan results back and they indicate that the cancer is starting to grow again. That's going to be fucked up too. Like to be
the future tripping,
the anticipating,
right?
That's not helpful. And yet it feels impossible for me not to do that because we have been given this chance to be cancer free, knowing what the cancer journey could look like. And I was wrestling with this, I guess, like what I think about as like trying to be patient and trying to be present. And I locked into this insight or pivotal visceral experience that I had in February, which I was writing about in an essay recently that involves the Olympic figure skater, Elisa Leo, who is from here, Oakland. And, because I was looking back, like, okay, how did I get through that? And that's why I was, I'm like in a moment, like, I did that? I finished. Okay. How did I do it? And I was like, I don't know, not that well. I mean, at a sort of like at the 30,000.
How did I do it? Lousy.
Yeah. At the 30,000 foot view, I was looking down like, scraping, but I don't know. I just like my sort of like, what the emotion that rose to the top was like, ugh, I hated that. And then I remembered a particular feeling that helped me. The feeling of watching someone that gave me bliss. So the experience of watching Elisa's free skate on February 19th, I believe, 2026, like just watching her divine joy, her like sublime relaxation, her freedom. That felt like it was ramping up throughout the however many minutes long Donna Summer's ballad went on, just like I felt like she was getting more and more entranced in her own freedom. And it gave me freedom. It made me feel free, and it made me remember myself. Like, I love feeling free. And I've had the experience of feeling free. And I think you can feel very unfree as a care partner for someone going through cancer.
Yeah, you think?
You can feel very unfree as somebody who doesn't have a job, who doesn't really have an opportunity to like say like, you know, I wish I had answered this one question differently. I don't know if you're future tripping or second guessing any of the things you did or said or choices you made in that interview process.
Definitely.
But like it haunts you, right?
One tries not to let it haunt one, but yes.
It haunts us. It haunts me that Ed called me Nurse Roachet, like instead of Nurse Ratchet from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Nurse Roachet on a number of occasions that my tough love I could not. There he is with a fucking fentanyl drip and his little mini skirt nightgown. Like his little, like all these lines coming out of him, like moving down, you know. Like a robot. And I'm like, dude, you have to go all the way around the ICU. Do not make a U-turn at the nurse desk. Go all the way around because my well-being depends on it. You getting better. Make a full lap, please. You know, and like, oh my God, like, I want to hug that guy. I want to hug that guy who was like, I want to be like, yeah, turn around, man. You did it. You did it. Fine. Turn back around, right?
I'm going to interject here.
You may.
Because I'm feeling protective of my friend Rowena. And I understand, I think part of your process. So you know, I'm an experiential educator, Rowena. Did you know that? And when you go through an intense experience, reflecting on it and capturing lessons, that's a huge part of how we learn and how we grow. So yes, great. And I think when you do this kind of post-mortem, thank God he's not actually dead. But you know, post-mortem on this on this phase of your life and your and Ed's lives together, right? Part of the learning and growing journey is looking at, you know, what I want to do better next time.
Yeah.
Okay. I really, really hope, and maybe you're going there. I really, really want to hear. And if you don't have things to say in this realm, I have plenty of them.
Yeah.
What you did so well.
Yeah.
How you were the most amazing care partner.
Yeah. Thank you.
Including not letting him turn around at the nurse's station. Because that's one facet, one dimension of care partnering. And because here's the thing. We all, including Ed, have things that we're really good at and things that we're less good at. I don't know, and God bless you, Ed, when you listen to this episode. I don't know that, you know, that like really persevering through a difficult physical trial. I mean, we've seen him do it. He's done triathlon, so I do want to give him some credit, right? Yeah, so it's I don't want to make that a general. I don't want to put out a general. Ed is a tough ass dude when he really wants to be, right? He's a tough ass dude, and he's proven that many, many, many times. And triathlons very much included. So let me reframe what it is that I'm trying to say. In his fragile physical state, there were a lot of pressures on him to not be active, to just be in that bed. Let the tubes and the machines do all of the work that they were doing. Yeah. And can you just please leave me alone and let me be supine?
Actually, just kick up the fentanyl.
Yeah, exactly. Kick up the drip a little bit. You want to make that drip a flow? You want to do that for me right now, please? And I don't think that you were it is true that him going a little further benefits his health. Yeah. It is true that it benefits you for him to be healthy. Yeah. It's also true that it benefits him to be healthy. Yeah. So you look at a bunch of different ways. Yeah. And the way I'm choosing to look at it is like that was good care partnering. It was good care partnering. Thank you. It landed as cruel in the moment, maybe. Yeah. But I mean, so maybe you were more of the one of the hats that you're wearing is coach. Right? Yeah. And sometimes coaches got to be a little harsh. Yeah.
Love you and thank you. And yes, thank you. I think I was spiraling just a minute ago. I was spiraling, and this is it, right? It's like what you were saying earlier about like there's part of it that has a hold on you. This like how you were responding to the overseas job non-job.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, it has a hold on me. It has a hold on me. And I want to get more balanced. And so here's where my mind goes, is to this expression, hugging the midline.
Which you and Ed taught me recently.
Yeah. So our yoga teacher, in a sort of, in speaking of yoga, and speaking of a yoga pose, describes the sort of approach to that technique. I don't even know. Scratch all of that. She says, as you're standing in Warrior One, hug the midline. And what that means to me is gather energy, and gather, energy from your legs, gather energy from your arms, gather energy from the earth, gather energy from the sky, and draw it all in to the midline, to the middle channel, to your spine, to your solar plexus, to the middle of you. And another thing she says is stay with it. And so these two sort of practices, mantras, have been a big part of our lives in the yogic sense. And it's an expression that has just been coming to the fore of my thoughts as I spiral, because it helps me regroup. It's like a regrouping. It's a gathering in and reestablishing a kind of balance. And the thing about balance is there's no real such thing as perfect balance. Like there's temporary balance, but there's this sense that balance is really a dance, between like falling and recovering. When, we're continually asked to put one foot in front of the other, which is a sort of like falling, right? Falling and recovering. And I want to have grace when I fall. I want to have grace when I fall out of balance, when I spiral, when I'm nurse rotating, and bringing more tough love than is appropriate to that particular moment, and not stay there. And this is where the presence really comes into play, because it's this idea of like staying, as I was saying earlier, like there's like this impulse to want to like stay on the bottom, because if you rise back up, then you have to try to stay up and not, bottom out. But having grace for the bottoming out times, and regrouping and hugging the midline, coming back to your essential, untouchable, divine self. And what you said many moments ago about like, I don't want this, not getting this job to define me. I don't want those circumstances to define me. I feel like the you, talk about like essential you that cannot be defined by anything else than what you know to be your divine self.
You want me to put my definition, you want me to create a verbal definition of my divine self right now?
Could you identify it?
I know is the answer to that question. The answer,
no, and
exactly. I think for any of us, I think hearing from people who know us best would be the best way to get at that. Okay, I'll say a few things. Based on I think honest feedback that I have from people closest to me, I think that I'm a pretty open-minded person who's been through a lot of things, and I can help, and I tend to see, I don't want to say I tend to this. One of my baseline orientations is, I think, seeing the strengths of other people, and also where people could grow, and helping them see greater possibilities for themselves, etc. I don't want to, this is getting very uncomfortable for me right now.
That's awesome.
Getting very
I love this. I love that you, I think I'm thinking even more like spiritually, like, you have a divine self, right? That is untouchable by any of the outside influences that could come and try to crumple it.
Yes.
You trust that.
Well, most of the time. But yes,
Yeah.
that's at baseline, yes.
Yeah.
And one of the skills that I'm trying to improve at is having that, which is God, be closer, more accessible, more present for me, moment to moment in my life.
Yeah.
I think I shared this with you, a prayer that almost feels like a mantra. That it just occurred to me 2 or 3 weeks ago as I was going through a pretty intensive interview process, which was, God, let me feel you today.
Amen.
That's, to me, that feels powerful, because if I'm really feeling God, then it's all I need. I really don't need anything else. I mean, food, water, shelter to keep the meat sack alive, to keep alive the physical vessel, right? And of course, community and loved ones and all of that, right? But what I mean is, like, then all of the negative stuff, the keeping up with the Joneses, the like, I'm not good enough. What didn't they see in me such that they just treated me like I was nothing? All of that stuff then just goes away, just evaporates, goes poof. And if it doesn't exist, it can't really have a hold on me.
Our yoga teacher has this great thing where she's like, okay, starting there from poof, then what is your prayer?
I don't understand the premise.
If it is a given that you have God right there close to you, and all of these things evaporate, all of these other concerns, criticisms evaporate. From there, you don't have to answer this either. As he puts that out there, like, then what is the prayer? Because you can't pray for those like things to work out, because we know that all you need is that.
Well, I guess where my mind first went when you asked that question just now is what they say at the conclusion of the Episcopal service that I semi-regularly attend at All Souls Episcopal Church in Berkeley, California.
Okay.
Is let us now go out into the world, and I don't remember the exact words, but it's like we've partaken in communion, and we've taken the body and blood into us. This divinity, and our job is to go forth into the world, carry that with us wherever we go. So my
divinity,
the divine spark, right, and so that would be my prayer, that I may, bring it into the world always and everywhere that I go, and it's always going to be aspirational.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember after.
So I think there's many times I would say.
Yeah, but it's funny. It was, right after church last Sunday, because I was having a very hard time. Like, church was great, and then we get out there, and like instantly there's some driver doing something stupid. I didn't honk my horn or anything like that, but it was just like, I think I indicated my displeasure with the behavior of this driver, and I'm just like, okay, well. All right, well, that's fail number 1.
God, right?
Totally.
I hate that. I hate that. Not what you did, but it's like, those snap judgments.
Totally. And right back down to earth, as it were. It's almost slapstick. It's almost slapstick. There's more I want to say about that, but I think I'll save it, because I think we're going to do another episode that is specifically about spirituality and religion in our lives. So maybe I'll bring this forward. I'll put a pin in this one.
Okay.
For that conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I really appreciate you going there, and I love your response, and I think that bringing your divine spark out into the world is a beautiful thing to think about when our teacher asks us, like, if then If that, then what? What is your prayer?
Can we hold here for just a moment? I don't want this to get lost in wherever we're going next. I will just say for our listeners who don't know you as well as I do, well, some of them do, a select few, that you have been an incredible care partner for your beloved and our beloved Edward Edmund Frauenheim IV. I mean, showing up every day. Oh my God. Legend.
Can I talk about some of the highlights?
I hope you will.
That's super sweet. And just like with the cancer convalescence weekends, there were some super sweet times that I identified not right away. It was the 10-hour operation. It was the 7 days in the hospital and then getting Ed home, which it was complicated. I mean, complicated at home. There was like wound care.
Mm-hmm.
And as you remember with the, I had to like unhook the bulb of chemotherapy from him. And do you remember how?
I remember.
There was some challenges.
There were some challenges. Yes, there were.
Like Ed was terrified that I wasn't doing it in a sterile way and I was going to kill him. And so there was like a learning curve with the wound care too. But I think like that ended up being one of my favorite things to do because we decided to get in the shower together.
Oh.
So we got in the shower together and cleaned him all up. And then there was like the blotting. There was the like very careful like taping of the gauze. And it was like this tender like way that I could support and care for my sweetie. Another thing that we started in the chemo time was reading aloud.
Yes, I remember. And sometimes she'd read to Colette and me as well.
Yeah, and we just continued to do that. Like, you know, if your honey's like spending a lot of time on the couch, it's really nice to find sweet things to do on the couch together. So we watched some shows, but we continued to read aloud to each other. And we aren't doing that right now. Like we talk about it. Oh, do we have a new book? But we're not showering together right now either. So, amazingly enough, like I will miss some of those practices and aspects of recovery. Also just the small, moments when I preemptively provided care. Ed has like a lot of neuropathy in his feet. And so I gave him a lot of foot rubs and I started to really love it. I started to really love his feet. Skyla, if you're listening to this, I know you don't share my enthusiasm for your dad's feet. But I fell in love.
Okay. That's normal and natural, my godchild. I
fell in love with Ed's legs, which were a part of his body that I hadn't spent that much time, appreciating. So, little things like this, like that were bonding, that were fresh, ways, that I think I definitely would not have probably had those experiences if it were not for the cancer care. I wanted to bring it back to the Elisa Leo moment though, because, I had the experience of watching her and then I kind of got obsessed and watched all these reels and interviews and learned that after the Beijing Olympics, when she was 16, all of 16 and got a bronze, she retired and basically said skating wasn't worth it, that she had like given up her childhood and wanted to love herself again and like took time and goofed off and and hung out with siblings and took vacation. And I think learning that, and then came back, 2 years later, I mean, they talk about it as like the most improbable comeback. Like, people don't take 2 years off in the, at this heightened time of their lives. But she obviously has unbelievable amounts of grit and determination to skate on her own terms. And that was the sort of salient piece for me, where it was like, it's not like it's not like I didn't have control. I didn't have control, obviously, over the cancer, but I did have control over my response to my responsibilities as a care partner. And I was just overdoing it. I was overdoing it in my mind. I don't know if I was overdoing it over I don't know, over having excessive amounts of anxiety, which is, Ed will be the first to tell you, I have a tendency to catastrophize. And I know, like, even as we learned right out of the operation that they had to remove his spleen, which is an organ that, like, helps so much in fight infection with not being immune compromised. I was like, oh, fuck, we're fucked. Ed's going to catch every disease. I am happy to report that we have traveled. Ed has not been sick. Ed has not been sick once. Like, he did have to get some vaccines, but, like, he hasn't even caught he didn't get the flu. He didn't get and he's just not living in a bubble. So, like, I need to not be overwrought in my commitment to thinking like that. I have to be perfect. What I have to be is present. I have to be present. And when I'm present, I can receive the care, I can receive the community offerings. I can receive I can hear myself say, like, it'd be a good time for me to step back. It'd be a good time for me to take a walk and to ask for support if I need support, but also to trust that if not right that second, stepping away right that second isn't an opportunity, isn't the best choice, that I'll still be okay if I need to hang out for another hour or another week. Like, I'll be okay. Like, to just trust that I actually really love myself enough, feel close enough to God, feel close enough to my essential life force, which I work so fucking hard. This is the thing too. This is why I can feel so self-defeated, is because I spend so much time cultivating chi, cultivating energy. I mean, I'm a literal mover and shaker. Like,
yes, you are.
I'm a fitness instructor and a dancer, and I work with older people who have, lost a lot of facility capacity, to cheer them on, to, like, help them feel their life force again. So how I can be such an obstacle to my own is the thing that I'm, like, faced with working on. And just being present is so hard. It's so hard to stay in the moment. And yet it is the key to everything. I think that's the same thing as saying, like, when I know that God is right here, I am present. Lord, may I feel you today. May I feel present right now, is the antidote to that future tripping and anticipatory grief. And I'm gonna, like you said, I'm gonna fall out. It's impossible. As soon as I pull out of the parking lot, I've lost that sense, but maybe naming it, writing about it, talking about it, and sharing an episode, season one, chapter over, season 2, a clean slate, carpe diem, tabula rasa.
So yeah. Yes. Until the next thing. Like, Sorry.
Please.
I'm not trying to be cynical. I just remembered something really freaking hilarious. This is from, let's see if I can get the year here. This is the calm year. So this was 2000. In the summer, Colette and I and our dear friend Matt were co-leading a group of 12 high school students from the United States to various parts of China. And we were in a Tibetan region called Kham.
Calm?
Kham.
Kham.
Yes. And there was this monk whose name was Loire. It's a French name, but he just told us to call him Laurie.
Okay.
Love that. And he'd spent a lot of time in Hong Kong. Like, he was a city savvy Tibetan monk, spoke great English. And he was leading us on this trek up to a monastery. And we were sitting around having a debrief of the day, and we were asking him some questions about his own spiritual practices as a Tibetan Buddhist monk. And one of the questions one of us asked him was, do you feel ready to die?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And he said, great question. I thought I was making progress. Like, I thought I was making meaningful progress in this realm until a few days ago when I was in bed and a rat scurried across the room and I freaked out. So I'm thinking that could be a great metaphor for whatever, for like the annoying driver after church for me. Like, for whatever it is that knocks us out of the moment and the divine presence and the divine spark.
The rat scurrying across
the room.
I love it.
Right? Like, they're gonna scurry. They're gonna happen. And there's, I think, a theme that I'm picking up on in this conversation with you now is like the place to focus our attention and our effort is on what happens next. Right? So the rat scurried across the room. Okay. Now what? How are we gonna respond to that? How quickly can we get back to that midline?
Can I read something Ed wrote?
I hope you will. It was the second time I've used that line in this conversation. I need a new line.
I hope you won't.
Do it!
I was talking about the midline, and you texted, I wonder what midline I could be hugging during this challenging phase of my professional life.
Right, and this was in the immediate aftermath, maybe even day of getting this rejection.
Yeah.
From this, yeah. So yes, please. Yeah, it was such beautiful thoughts and words.
And then, he said, Jazz, one way I think about your midline is just how good I think you are at your core. Look at how you cared for me this past year. And my lady. Look how you've cared for Lauren and your brother, plus the rest of your fam and friends. You give it away. And maybe there's a way to hug and hold on to that goodness during this rough patch. Maybe to let us hug you back as you've hugged us.
So sweet.
I love that he's identified like how good you are at your core.
So we come back to community, right? Like, sometimes we just need to listen to the people who love us most.
Yes. And dance with them.
You would. That's very on brand for you, Rowena.
Dance with the people.
Dance with them.
The last time I was here, we had a dance party. It was supposed to be my birthday party at the sauna, but it was like an unbelievable storm.
Yes.
So much rain, and we were
rain and wind. It was very dramatic. It was April,
like a dance party.
Yeah,
it was like absolutely a blast. And I wanted to ask you this. Do you right now have a hype song?
A hype song. So a song to get me like super jazzed up.
Yeah. Especially when you're feeling rejected.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Right. So a song that I could go to when I'm feeling down?
Yeah. Yeah. A song to get you up. And you could use it when you're feeling down. Or when you're faced with something that you don't really feel like doing necessarily. Yeah.
Feels like a leading question.
It might be.
It's like there's a right
I really
answer.
want to know. No,
there's a right answer. No, it's interesting because what I'm noting is like when I'm really down, some of my favorite music to listen to is the St. Louis Jesuits Earth and Vessels album.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
That isn't a crazy
So
hype
beautiful.
song, though.
But it's not a hype song. It's not a hype song. What happens is like the really high energy songs that I love listening to, like I played a couple of them for you and Ed in the park. There's the song by Eat, Things I Need.
Yes.
That I played for you. And then there's Been Caught Stealing by Jane's Addiction.
Yeah.
And there's Standing Next to You by Jungkook from BTS. Like those were my three go-tos for a long time. Just like, fuck yeah. Like I'm just, but I listen to them when I'm already in a high energy state and they just amp me up even further.
Okay.
When I'm feeling kind of down, I don't like listening to like super peppy and upbeat songs, but maybe you could introduce me to some, Rowena.
Well, I have a pair for us.
Oh, do you now?
Yes.
Okay.
And they are both by the legendary rockers Cheap Trick.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the one for me is Surrender.
Surrender.
Days are right. You just seem a little weird. Surrender. Surrender. But don't give yourself away. Yes. So that give yourself away to me is sort of the equivalent of like,
That's great. Oh my
fuck
God.
yourself, right? I suck. Self-deprecating. Okay, and for you, it's another Cheap Trick song.
Oh my God.
In this liminal moment.
Don't tell me it's I want you to want me.
No, I don't want that. You don't want me.
I need you. Oh my God. Totally. That is so freaking apropos.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That might be a nice note for us to go out on.
I think so. That's all for this episode of No Left Field. If you enjoyed it, give us a 5-star rating and follow the podcast. That will help others find us. Until next time, may our left fields be ever expanding.
Nice one.